I have NMDs and they're just like all black. They're the best.
Dude, the most comfortable shoes ever. It feels like I'm walking around slippers 90% of the time.
I know. I've got them in my suitcase. I'm gonna get into it before I get in the airport.
Right, listen, we're gonna hit this live now.
What up, world? It's Wednesday, so you know what that means. Popdust Presents. I'm your host, Deascent, and today we have a very special guest all the way from SoCal. We got Cody Lovaas in the building.
What's up?
Thank you for stopping by, man.
Thanks for having me.
You've been on a roll this whole entire day. Performance, interview, and
Yes, sir.
we're lucky to have you be a guest here and your last stop before you get on the plane, right?
On the plane, yeah.
So
Excited to be here.
with that said, his first song, Prove It.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cody Lovaas.
Yeah.
Cody. Can I call you Cody?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Please.
So, born in Dallas, right?
Mhm.
And grew up in San Diego.
Yeah, I moved out when I was like 6 months old, probably. So super young.
What was life like growing up out there?
Oh, San Diego's amazing. Everybody's really relaxed, and most people surf, and we got the beach right there. So it's pretty awesome. There's not much of a music scene, but
Really?
LA is super close. So
How much did the environment play in you making music and writing music?
I don't think it played the biggest part. I just none of my friends really played music or anything. I was just drawn to it because I just had a passion for it. And I guess like the ocean inspired me. Being a surfer, like being in the water always inspired me. But I don't think there was much other music going around that made me want to take a stab at it.
So, story about how you got into music was pretty much you're in the car with your mom, and you said you wanted to make music and you wanted to be a drummer at first, right?
Right. Yeah. I told her I wanted to be a drummer when I was 7, and I was too energetic, man. I was a crazy kid, so she didn't want her house to be that loud, and she suggested I take up guitar, so I did. And we had this teacher come over, and he sucked. He made me sit up straight, and he got me a guitar that hurt my fingers, all that stuff. And so I asked her if I could quit, and she did not want to quit her either. So she told me if I wanted to quit, I'd have to fire my teacher. I was 7. I was not going to fire somebody.
She pretty much put the fate of an adult in your hands.
Right. And so I didn't do it. I asked her if we could just get a new teacher, and she was like, yeah, that's fine. And so we got a new teacher, and this guy came over. He got me a nylon string guitar, which are softer strings, doesn't hurt your fingers. And then he asked me what kind of music I liked, and then he taught me that music. So that's kind of how I got started.
For our viewers out there, what kind of music do you like?
I used to only listen to John Mayer for like a long time. It was like years when I would only listen to John Mayer, nothing else. And my main inspiration, obviously, John, and then Jimi Hendrix was huge for me. And now growing into more of an artist, and I'm listening to every single genre, as many artists and songs as I can get my hands on. So I listen to everything.
Nice. How old were you when you wrote your first song?
Oh, I was probably 12. Yeah, I was 12 when I wrote my first song.
Do you remember the title?
Yeah, it's Blink of an Eye, and it's just like a beach song. And I didn't know anything about girls or any hardship at all. So I just I'm gonna sing about surfing and music. So I did.
Awesome. So you were discovered by Jason Mraz?
Yes. So I was playing in a coffee shop. I've been playing in coffee shops for a while and just kind of trying to get out there. And he was there one of these days, and he played a couple songs. I got to play a couple, and afterwards he told me he wanted to mentor me, take me under his wing, and introduce me to people he knew and stuff. So that was pretty awesome. We got to surf together, and then he took me back to his home studio, and we recorded a terrible song. And I got to open for him on his U.S. tour a couple years ago, which was super, super rad. But yeah, he's a close friend for sure.
Were you a fan of his prior to meeting him?
Yeah, when I got home from school, I'd just shuffle play Jason Mraz, like every day. That was it.
Same thing.
Yeah?
Remedy, you and I was in, I'm not going to tell you my age, but I was in high school when he really just broke in.
Really?
And that's when you still would see videos on MTV. Now I'm really showing my age, but
yeah.
So every morning Remedy would come on, and that would just be like my Get Up and Go song. And then
that's so cool.
You and I both came out, and I was just like, who is this guy? he's singing my song, he's telling my story, but he really wasn't. The music was just really awesome. So it's so cool that you got to have somebody who's such an amazing musician mentor you at such a young age.
Yeah, for sure.
What were some of the tips that Jason gave to you, not just when it came to music, but life in general?
Jason always taught me by like just showing. He was never like, you have to do this and this and this. He was just always like, hey, want to hang out? And I just like hang out with him and just watch how he acted in different scenarios, and that taught me more than anything he could have told me. But one thing he did tell me, which I've taken very seriously, said if you have an idea and you think it's amazing or you think it's the worst thing ever, no matter what, you have to write it down. So I have a doc on my phone where I have thousands of lyrics and thousands of voice memos of me playing guitar and all this stuff that, you know, half the stuff I'm like, this idea just came to me and it's terrible, but I'm going to write it down anyways. And sometimes those terrible ideas, you read it later, you go, oh, if I switched that around, it could be cool. So, yeah, he gave some good advice.
That's some awesome insight. So, you've been on the road at a young age, you know, still on the road now. Like, what are some of the things that you've encountered being out there touring and performing in front of different people in different states?
Yeah. On the tour with Jason, it was really fun to just like go into his venues and play to his fans and everything. They're super supportive people, and just the venues are gorgeous. And you know, I've gotten to play a lot of my own shows where people come out and, you know, they start singing my songs with me. So that's the most amazing thing. You know, if someone like knows my lyrics and I'm performing, they're singing along. That's just like songwriting is my favorite thing in the world. So that's like number one for me. So for people to be like singing the words to my story back to me, that's like incredible.
You put so much emphasis on you being a songwriter.
Yeah.
What is it about the process or just songwriting in general that you get the most satisfaction out of?
It's okay. So the thing is, like with guitar, I know if I practice it enough, like I can play the same thing 10 times in a row. But with writing songs, it's like I'm gonna sit down and try and write a song, and I'm gonna have one awesome one, 4 like really bad ones, or like maybe 6 great ones, you know, whatever. And you never know what's gonna happen. And it's like working with other people, and you know, I don't know, I'm a storyteller, so that's like my favorite thing to do, is to share what I've been through and what I've done in my life. So it's fun.
What inspires you these days to write? You know, because I remember you saying, you know, recently that you didn't know about hardship, you didn't know about, you know, pain so much, but now that you're older, more mature, you've experienced things. What are some of the things that you've experienced that go into making your music now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously relationships is a huge thing. Singing about that is always fun, and
I mean, you'll be stupid enough to break up with you.
I mean, you know, I don't.
I mean this in the most manly way possible. But
Yeah.
you're gorgeous.
Thanks, dude.
Just saying.
You know, there's heartbreak songs where, like, I think the hardest thing in the world is to break up with somebody that you really care about.
Absolutely.
You know, I have a song called Love No More that's about that feeling. Like, the line is, I don't want your love no more. And that's like, so there's a lot of different perspectives to write from. You don't necessarily have to be broken up with to have your heart broken, you know?
Do you necessarily catch a lot of flack from people who are older than you about some of the stuff that you may write about? Like, you're so young, you don't know what you're talking about.
I used to get that a lot, because as a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid, I was singing about, like, real stuff. And this guy came up to me after one of my shows, and he goes, hey, your songs are awesome. And I was like, thanks. And he goes, but. And I was like, okay. And he goes, but just wait till you get your heart broken. That's when you'll write a real song. You know, go through your first breakup, and then you'll write a real song. So people say that, and I don't know.
So pretty much he wanted you to get crushed and defeated, so that way you can make music to benefit his enjoyment.
It's a mindset.
I have a question from one of the people out here. Says Cody, did you ever doubt you'd pursue music? From Jamie Roberts.
Jamie Roberts, awesome. Great question. Did I ever think I would not pursue music? When I was 7, I was just like, I enjoyed it, you know, I was just playing guitar. But right when I wrote my first song and I sang it to people, I was pretty much like, wow, like, this is my passion. There's nothing that'll keep me from doing this. But I never thought it would be like, I never was like, I'm going to be on big stages doing this or that. It was just like, I'm going to play music. So I think the answer to your question is like, pursuing music as a career, yeah, at first it was like, I didn't really think about that, but I've always known that I'm going to be doing music, whether it's for one person or a million people. since the day I wrote my first song. I knew this is my passion. I'm going to do it whether one person's listening or a million. So, but yeah, I mean, I've taken it very seriously as a career since I, got signed with management and started doing a lot in LA and doing songwriting sessions, 4 times a week, that type of stuff. But yeah.
You seem really chill and just laid back. So with that, what's a normal, what you would perceive as normal day in the life for Cody Lovaas? What do you like to do when you first get up, from then till, do you like, catch up on your eggs? Like, let the people know.
Catch up on my eggs. No, I'm not that type of human.
You're not a sociopath?
No, I'm
awesome.
not.
Understood.
No, I like to get up. I like to surf. If I can, that really just revives me, gets my day set right. I have a lot of days in LA right now, and I still live in San Diego, so it's
nice.
A lot of commuting back and forth, so it kind of takes a little of that surfing away. But I'll surf, write a song. I teach guitar, so I'll try and go do that every once in a while, and hit the gym, just regular stuff. But yeah, music is the focus of every single day.
Definitely. Well, a lot of your inspirations you already cited, Jason, Jimmy. Who in today's music scene would you consider an inspiration or somebody you would like to work with potentially?
I've been saying all trip. I've been into Anderson .Paak for a while. Do you know Anderson?
Love Anderson .Paak.
Yeah,
awesome.
So I found him really early on. When I'd asked that question, no one knew who he was, and I was really proud, like, oh, I know this guy. And I got a ticket for me and my friend to see him at the House of Blues in Anaheim. And this was before he performed at the Grammys and
nice.
Before all that. And so I got us our tickets. They were super cheap. And then he performed at the Grammys, and the show just blew up, right? Got sold out. Tickets were super expensive. But we had him early. So we got in there, and it was the best night of my life, seeing him perform. And that's all we did. We just went to the show, and then we went home and went to sleep. That's it. The one concert I've been to where the only focus was just listening and enjoying the music. There's always other things on your mind, but it captured me. So Anderson .Paak, he's been a huge inspiration. Ever since I saw him perform live, I've been wanting to make people dance and move and laugh and smile and have fun at a live show more. So
I can imagine listening to Malibu out in California.
Oh my gosh.
That has to be one of the best experiences. Knowing the man.
Yep.
But yeah, I feel like you and an Anderson collaboration would be amazing. Anderson, I know you're watching the show.
Yeah, Andy, let's do it.
Because every Wednesday you sit down and you make sure that you're watching. So make sure hit this guy up.
Do that.
So kind of, sort of, by proxy in a weird roundabout way, Steven Tyler opened up for you.
Yeah. Not many people know about that. Yeah, so I played this fundraiser. I think it was for Rady's Children's Hospital, and we had this show booked, and my band and we were the headline, and Steven Tyler went on before us, and he walked off stage, and I was about to walk on. It was the weirdest feeling, because he's Steven Tyler, and I don't know. He just shook my hand. He was like, "Hey man, hope you have a great show. Can I get a photo?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Wait.
What do you mean?
Wait, time out. Steven Tyler.
I think he was joking. I do.
Did you take the photo?
Of course.
Okay,
I took yeah. So I took the photo and went on stage, and I think he caught one song, then I had to go off to another show or something. So I think it was a timing thing. I think he had another show to get to, and he had to go earlier, but
so pretty much then and there you got anointed, Steven Tyler.
Yeah, I went on after him, and all the old ladies were still in the front row, and I was just all right, time to make these old ladies they were drooling over Steven Tyler. It was awesome.
I mean, Steven Tyler, but once again, I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, Dan, can you zoom in just a little bit?
Where?
It doesn't matter. Just
great.
Close up on Cody.
All right, hold on a second. We're gonna get
just enough. Don't give them too much.
Oh,
for
wait.
free.
Okay, so pull back
just a little bit, so people can just see.
Well, listen, I'm gonna just give you. All right.
Boom. That's it. That's the show right there. Okay, now zoom out. Back on me.
Zoom out. Something
Dan,
that's working here.
I will fire you. I will fire you.
Something's working with the show now. We actually have viewers. It's going up. I'm just kidding. All right.
So, is this your first time on the East Coast? No, right?
No, it's about my third time in New York.
How do you like the contrast, besides the weather?
Besides the weather, I like the cold actually, but no, I love it out here. The only thing is that's not as much appreciated is like the like wind burn on my face. I don't really appreciate that too much.
That's why I grew this. Like, it's not so much, for fashion statements.
This is my fully grown beard, so you're looking at that. This is all the protection I have for that.
And even still, it looks better than mine. It's impossible. So tell us about some of the new music that you have out and about to release soon.
Yeah, I just released a new single called Turbulence, which I'll play for you guys in a minute. But on the release track, we have Caroline Pendle featured on it.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's such an amazing artist. I've been wanting to work with her for a while, so that was awesome to get to do that.
So tell us a little bit about the song Turbulence. What inspired you to write it?
Turbulence is about one of my shorter relationships I had that I found that this girl was just loving in a very unhealthy way. And that was like when she was with me, she was so dedicated in a ride or die mentality, which is great, but she did that to her ex-boyfriend, and I knew that right when I broke it off. Like, she went on and did it to another guy, like, oh, I love you, you're my man, like all this stuff, like
very eager kind of.
Kind of over, like, if it's great to be ride or die, but if you're ride or die for everyone, which is impossible, it turns into fake love. So that's what that song was about. Yeah.
Hey, you didn't ride or die for the right one. Look at him now on Popdust. I'm sorry. Doesn't do much, but. So what you got coming up, man? Project, shows, hair care line, skin product. What's up?
We'll talk about music, yeah. We actually have an acoustic version of this, like kind of similar to. It's just gonna be like guitar, piano, and my voice and Caroline's voice. That's coming out soon.
Nice.
And then another single probably in May. So just working that out right now. But a lot of music to come this year for sure.
Any shows?
Yeah, we're working on tour right now. Nothing, no dates solidified yet, but yeah, soon we'll hear about that.
If you ever wander back on the East Coast in New York, you got to invite Popdust out.
Let's do it. Yeah, that'd
We'll
be fun.
definitely be there. I promise I'll keep the screaming to a minimum, not to upset the female fans. But I know you gotta catch a flight, man. But thank you so much for stopping by. We
Thanks for
really,
having
really
me,
appreciate it.
For a
And
jet plane, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yay.
Dan, what I tell you about segues? It's my thing.
Okay, well,
He's gonna be so fired after this interview. But ladies and gentlemen, this was another amazing episode of Popdust Presents. Make sure, tell people where they can find you out on social and stuff.
Oh yeah, Cody Lovaas. It's Cody CodyLovaas. That's everywhere.
And the double A stand for absolutely amazing.
Hey.